Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? It is Friday, and I took the day off today. I think I told you I was going to do that yesterday. What I didn't know when I took the day off, I took the day off because I've been working from home the last couple of days, and I just didn't really want to drive to work today. But then I woke up this morning, and there's like 5 inches of snow here right now, and that was like, holy crap. That was like 4 o'clock this morning. I woke up because the dog wanted out, and there was like 3 inches of snow, and it's snowing hard, and I didn't think it was supposed to snow at all, but it did. So I've been kind of snowed in today. I did get out just a little bit ago. Real light, fluffy snow, so it was really easy to shovel. Decided to go pick a few groceries up because I wasn't really prepared for staying in all weekend. I was running out of my new favorite tea, my ginger tea, so yeah. We've been talking a lot about book stuff lately, and I hope that's not boring to you. I know that that's not. I know that this is just another one of those things that Chevee's doing because Chevee wants to do it, and that's been the story of my life for a very long time. I get an idea in my head that I want to try something, and I go full bore until I do it, and very, very rarely do I find something that I stick with, but every now and then I do. And so I like to explore all of those various whims. It used to be something that really distracted me. It used to be something that I hated. I hated the fact that I would really get into whatever. For a while, I was really into fly fishing, so I did it a lot, and I tied my own flies, and I was very good at tying my own flies. I caught a lot of fish on my own flies, and then one day I just stopped. I wasn't interested in tying flies anymore. I wasn't interested in fly fishing. I'm still interested in fly fishing. That's a lie. I just don't do it. Or kayaking. I was a whitewater kayaker for a year, and I loved everything about it, and then just one day I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. And there's 1,000 little things that I've tried for a few weeks or have been really into or been, and I just lose my passion for it and move on to the next thing. And it used to really bother me that I wasn't able to focus, that I wasn't able to commit myself to one continuous hobby. Like I see most people just seem to have that one thing that really is their thing, and they do it, and I've never been that person. And that used to bother me. It used to bother me that I wasn't like everybody that I had seen. But what I learned is that it's who I am, and that exploring all of these creative ideas is the way that I move through the world, and quite a few of them have stuck. Woodworking, board gaming, motorcycling, reading. I mean, a lot of the hobbies that I have are things that I wanted to try, and I tried it, and I stuck with it. So writing this book, maybe that's just another thing. Maybe it's something that I'm going to pour my life into for the next 6 months, and then I'm going to ultimately write something that I'm not happy with, and I'm just going to say I'm never going to do this again. I don't know. But right now I have the drive, and I'm going to stay with it until it's done. And I hope that means that I get to at least write a draft, write a whole novel. And if I never do anything with it beyond that, okay. But I want to know that I did it, and I want to know that I did it the correct way. I want to know that I wrote a story that has a beginning, middle, and end, that I wrote a character that has an arc, that I wrote an interesting plot, and I have an interesting cast of characters and that sort of thing. So I've been really putting a lot of energy into it, and so I've talked about it. And I hope that it's not boring to you. I hope it's not just another one of those things that Chevee's tried, like the sign thing and Etsy shops and game designs and the meeple. I mean, there's so many things that I've done over the years of this show that I've never stuck with because they present themselves to be more challenging than they're worth. Or I can't afford, but I think I need to do it. Writing a book doesn't require any expense, so I can't use that excuse on this one. What I can use as an excuse is that I don't understand how to write a book. And so that's been this last couple of months of me learning. And I'm thankful that I have a extremely patient mentor, Scott King. And he is an author, an amazing author. I really like his work. I've read a lot of his stuff now, and I really appreciate all of it. And and he's got a really interesting way of kind of getting me to understand what he's wanting from me when I go through his books and turn in my assignments. So he's been a really good teacher. And I haven't talked about Outline Your Novel yet. I I reviewed his last book, Story Pitch, back in December because I flew through that book. It was a pretty simple. Well, I don't want to say simple, but it was a really like easy to follow, easy to understand thing to get a story pitch out of that. So I kind of went right through it and then reviewed it real quick. This one, not so much. I'm not even halfway through this book yet because I'm stuck at the point where you start to detail the beats of the story, the opening hook, the catalyst, the thing that makes your character want to do what he does, the paths that your character goes on, whether she's, going to fight the dragon or going to solve the mystery. There's steps along that way, and each of those steps should have some sort of thing that holds her back, and then she has to overcome that, and then she moves forward another step, and then so that cycle needs to happen. That's the Act 2 where you get to learn about the character, you get to learn all that stuff. I'm still trying to get that figured out. Once I've done that, then I can move on to the later half of the book, and I think Scott goes into detailing how to outline scenes, how to break scenes down, or I don't remember what he calls it, but he kind of goes into how to flush out the beats of the story, take those and turn those into scenes, turn those scenes into something that makes sense so that you can just write to the next point. So when you're sitting down to do the actual writing, you know exactly where you're headed at each point of the story. And that's kind of the point of doing an outline. So that's where I'm at. But Scott, I've been really struggling with this whole character thing, and I finally got the character figured out, and then I started working on the kind of the supporting cast. And I made the ridiculous mistake of creating a throwaway character that the character, the idea of the character fits the main character's arc. The whole idea that he's kind of abandoned everything to go solve this mystery, like that's his entire drive. But that throwaway character is not a throwaway person in real life. So she needs to have her own story. And Scott was like, you need to pause. Are you only ever going to write females that are just throwaways or that are evil or just the standard like females suck? Or are you going to try to make a character that actually has character? And so he pointed me to this chapter in his book called Create Your Cast. And it really talks a good bit about how characters who aren't the main character still have their own story, and you as the writer or the author should know that character's story so that you can put their personality into them when they enter a scene. They shouldn't enter a scene, push your main character along, and then move on. That's not a character. That's just a plot device, and your supporting cast should not be a plot device. But the point is, he's got this really wonderful bit in here about writing women into stories and how they shouldn't just be these throwaway characters especially. And he does it by telling you a story about him and his wife and how he is kind of he's the stay-at-home man. He does the cooking, the cleaning, he takes care of everything. And, he talks about how he would write himself in his wife's story. And brilliant. Like, it totally clicked everything into, okay, I get it now. And the fun part was he showed, like, there's a couple of different ways he could write himself in. He could write himself in as a selfless person who just is there to support his wife, or he could write himself in as a very selfish person who does this stuff because he's better at it than her, and then it all makes sense. You're like, oh, that character isn't just some person in the background. That character actually has a purpose and a meaning in life. And then the scenes that they're in really take shape. And so I think I figured out my sidekick, I guess, character. I think I'm still going to keep it as a female. I think that I would like to write a strong female character, and she's not the lead character, but she has a purpose, and she has wants and goals and her own aspirations, and they conflict often with my main character. And I think that's what he was trying to get me to realize, was that there can be more to a female sidekick than just the love interest or the throwaway character that needs to be kicked to the curb, or the evil, woman spy person that we see so often. So I think I figured that out. I'm one step closer. I'm working on turning in my assignment again. Hopefully I'll get to that this weekend, and hopefully I have enough of a story in place. Scott will let me proceed forward. So he's been an amazing mentor. I couldn't have picked a better person to ask about writing, because he knows how to kick my butt, and he knows how to not pander to me. He knows when to tell me that I'm full of crap, and that's important. I like to surround myself with those kind of people. So I'm going to go spend the weekend writing in a snowed-in house and cooking and cleaning and doing things for myself to make myself feel better. I hope that you get to do something to make yourself feel better this weekend. If you have a shop, spend some time in it and make some sawdust. I've been doing that, and I love it. So thank you for being here, as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing, amazing people, my bestest friends. I'll see you on Monday.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia. What causes a star to become a supernova? Very massive stars can undergo core collapse when nuclear fusion suddenly becomes unable to sustain the core against its own gravity. This is the cause of all types of supernova except Aya. The collapse may cause some violent explosion of the outer layers in the star, resulting in a supernova or the release of cosmic radiation.